Hey everybody, how you doing? If for any reason you need to replace a starter on your 4th generation Mitsubishi Eclipse, this is what we're going to do. This is the 2.4 liter 2006 GS. The tools I'll be using today: 13-inch wrench, 12 and a 13 millimeter socket, a 14 long socket, an extension, a 3/8 inch drive, and a 1/2 inch drive with an adapter. So I use the rubber mallet. First step is you're gonna loosen up your negative battery terminal. Make sure it's not gonna swing back and get ya. After disconnecting the negative terminal, your first step will be undoing this clip here, which you can just work off. Then you have a 12 millimeter bolt. So for that 12 millimeter bolt, it's always nice to have an extension, so you go right through the header, and then we can just and you can slide off that bracket. That's your wiring. Okay, so you have two 14 millimeter bolts here, and this is where your socket, extended socket, is going to come into play. It can be hard to get leverage. It can be hard to get the leverage you need on that wrench, so you can get creative. I'm going to put this around the end of the handle of the wrench, and I'm going to tap it with a mallet. See if that does the trick for me. And that did the trick for me. Might find something that works better for you, but that's what worked for me. Alright, so you got your first bolt nice and clean. Now that second one, I should have done this right off the bat, but I'm gonna remove the part of the air intake. You get these two pins here. Just take that out. I'll just give you a little more room. Hey, a little barbaric, but I think it did the trick. Yep, that did the trick. You can see the starter now wiggling around, so you don't want to just let it fall. It was a larger ratchet with a adapter extended socket that got to that bottom 14. Alright. And the starter is out. So now you want to compare them. It's got the nipple. Looks pretty identical to me. Alright, looks good to me. Maneuver it in there, maneuver it in there. It's all about maneuvering. As far as torque spec, you don't want to go too tight, but just make it nice and snug, you know? You don't want your starter coming off. Now I'll switch back to the bigger socket. The bigger socket with the adapter and the extension socket. Well, the long socket, you know, You know what's going on here. By golly. You know what's going on here, by golly. Muscle it on there. Just don't hurt yourself. Get it on there as good as you can. Oh. Alright, those are pretty tight. To be honest with you, I think part of the reason with my car not starting is this. This connection is hot. Okay, so the GoPro died, and to be honest with you about those things, they're pieces of shit. The battery doesn't last at all. But I'm just gonna take this nut off. I should have done that in the first place, but I'll take that nut off. My phone's low on battery, so I'm just gonna get that all set. It's all bolted back up anyways. Now the old nut that came off was a 12, but this is a 13. You don't want to go too tight on these. You can actually damage it. I really suspect though that electrical connector is the issue, and I'm gonna see if I can actually go to the part store right now, get a new piece and fabricate a new connection. Okay, so when I went to return the core to get my $38 back, once the new one was on, that's when I took my opportunity to get the new connector. It definitely doesn't hurt to take an extra step. Yeah, so you see how disgusting this connection is? There you go. Well, I gotta get to work in the morning, so time to make a new connection. Okay, so that was pretty easy. You just cut it back to the good wire. It's not broken. Make sure it's seated in there good. And then you crimp it. You want to crimp it right here so that it grabs onto the wire so it won't pull off. Okay, so I do have the new connector on there, so now I can sleep at night. New starter with a new connector, so I'm all set now. Have a good one.